YouTube, my name is Mesa and welcome back to another Destiny 2 video. Alright folks, in this video we have a ton of Destiny 2 news to go over. We're going to briefly discuss the This Week at Bungie for July 18th. There's a few things we need to go over. We're going to put on our tinfoil hats here and discuss the possibility of the darkness and those good old pyramid ships might be coming along in year 3 along with Shadowkeep. And then an awesome article with Polygon where Luke Smith and Mark Noseworthy discuss how Shadowkeep's Armor 2.0 system will actually work. If you enjoy my content, please hit that like button and subscribe if you're not a subscriber. Let's get into it, folks. Next week on the 23rd, we will have Iron Banner back and also Increased Valor. That will start on July 23rd and end on July 30th. Now, if you recall, Iron Banner is now in a quest format, and you can pretty much pick up where you left off from the last Iron Banner. So let me read you this verbatim. This competitive event will allow you to advance any Iron Banner quest steps you didn't finish earlier in the season. If you missed the first Iron Banner of Opulence, this is your chance to kick off the quest and earn the singular gear. We did get some feedback on this quest and have some changes lined up, but they didn't make it in time for this Iron Banner. We'll give you the details before the next one starts up. This will be the last Iron Banner before we deploy an update to Lord of Wolves. Yeah, it looks like Lord of Wolves will be getting some sort of nerf or fix to it. That will be interesting because it is running rampant right now in the Crucible, but I think more so on PC, not so much on console. They continue with, as Luke Smith mentioned last month, anyone who plays during these two Iron Banners will receive a special triumph and emblem to commemorate that you were there when the wolves ran wild. Next up, Bungie will be deploying a fix for the exploit for Tribute Hall. If you didn't know, there was a cheese or something you could do where you can pretty much bypass the entire thing. I don't know, I didn't do it, I was late to the party. But let me read you this verbatim. As part of Season of Opulence, Guardians are paying homage to their previous adventures to earn some awesome rewards. Some of us leveraged an exploit in the Tribute Hall, taking advantage of Callus's generosity with some clever character switching shenanigans to place that free tribute over and over and over. You get it. This allowed some players to skip the tribute experience entirely, making other players who had done bounties and pledged large amounts of their resources a bit irked. I know myself, I could care less what other people do. I know myself, I'm not spending the resources. I think they want us, Bungie wants us personally to spend all of our resources because we're going to need them come September with Shadowkeep, especially if they're going full-blown MMO RPG-ish. So you let me know in the comment section. Are you completing everything in Tribute Hall or are you saving all of your planetary materials? I'm actually just going to the Spider when I'm loaded up on Glimmer and Legendary Shards and buying a ton of stuff. Anyway, moving along here, we will be fixing this glitch on July 30th as we kick off Solstice of Heroes. And just so you know, FYI, I will be streaming that day in my new space, actually. I'm moving on the 27th, and I stream only right here on YouTube, so expect a live stream that day. We'll be going to the European Aerial Zone. That's going to be some new combat meditation zone that's going to be for the Solstice of Heroes. So, yeah, they're fixing the glitch on July 30th. Lastly, from the This Week at Bungie, let's talk about Tribute Hall and player support. So, in last week's blog, they clarified which weapons and armor from the Menagerie contribute to Tribute Hall triumphs. This week, they want to clarify which exotic weapons will provide bonus progress. So, these exotics will include the Legend of Acreus, the Terabah, the Bad Juju. Players should be aware that truth does not count towards these triumphs, and neither does the quest version of Legend of Acreus. This version of Legend of Acreus can be identified by having no catalyst socket or ornament slot, having only a single round in its magazine, and having the Shock Blast intrinsic perk. Players with this version of Acreus can upgrade it by completing the exotic quest that begins with On the Comms. So if you're watching the footage in the background, that's the new Developer Insights video, which I will link in the description if you want to check it out. Now, we see a lot more footage of inside the moon and also on the surface of the moon. Now, one thing that's quite apparent is that there are these floating, I don't even know what you want to call them. Do you want to call them shadows? Do you want to call them dead bodies? I don't know at this point. Now, there's lots of speculation going on right now on Reddit, on Twitter, and we're going to have some debate in this comment section as to what they are, because I'm leaning more towards these might be actually the the darkness, or something out of those pyramid ships, but hear me out first. So I put out a tweet with a couple of screenshots, and I say, what is up with all these floating bodies in the Shadowkeep gameplay we have seen so far? Eris wakes up a hidden darkness. Maybe these are offerings or something to the good old pyramid ships? And I put, yes, I am reaching here, but I want to know what is on those ships so bad. Now, a number of folks said, well, this could be the dead guardians from the Great Disaster. Now, if you're not familiar with what the Great Disaster was, let me read you it from Destinypedia.com. So shortly after discovering the Hive during the Battle of Burning Lake, the Vanguard ordered a full-scale assault on the moon to establish a beachhead. Lord Shaxx, however, warned the consensus that the ascended swords carried by the Hive Knights were unlike any weapon he'd seen before, and that they should delay the attack. And by the way, guys, in the original Vidoc, not the Developer Insight video, you do see the Crota throne room in there. Just for a brief second, you see a Warlock putting down his rift. Yeah, that looks like Crota's throne right there, where you actually would kill Crota. So it looks like that play space is coming back as well. In a nutshell, Lord Shaxx's pleas were ignored, and Guardians who arrived fell by the hundreds, and they were killed by Crota leading this army. So in the aftermath, the Vanguard classified the moon as forbidden and not to be visited unless absolutely necessary. One of the survivors of the battle, Iriana III, swore revenge against Crota and assembled a team of Guardians to enter the Hellmouth. Only Eris Morn survived that venture. Now here's some concept art that dates back prior to Destiny 1 even coming out. We've seen this image around for a very long time. Now we see the 5 races, and race number 5 is the pyramid ships and what we believe to be the darkness, or at least according to many websites, that's supposed to be the darkness. Now we see the little creature or whatever that's drawn there kind of looks like all of these things floating all over the moon. Now XL Killa, one of my followers on Twitter, he tweeted me this: they are 100% a form of the darkness. They look like the Dark Guardians, and in the Shadowkeep Vidoc, they said the darkness is closer than we think. Probably because they're already here on the moon, and these shadows are the ones resurrecting our nightmares. So it's either going to be one of two things. It's either they're just dead guardians from the Great Disaster, but I don't know why we would have not have seen them in Destiny 1, or 2, it's the pyramid ships, it's the darkness, and Eris Morn has unleashed them or found them in the middle of the moon somehow. You let me know which one you're leaning towards, or if you have a different theory in the comments section. Here's even a creepier image. Look at the screen on the right hand side. We see Eris Morn on the moon, and more than likely that's going to be the spot where she's going to be our NPC. And we see, well, she's surrounded by these shadow figures or dark shadows or whatever you want to call them. So maybe that is, yeah, leading into a Destiny 3 type thing where everyone was speculating it's going to be PvEVP, and it's going to be Dark Guardians versus Light Guardians. I don't know. This is all getting, I know I'm reaching here, but let me know in the comment section. What do you think? Lastly, let's go over this interview with Polygon and Mark Noseworthy and Luke Smith. Bungie Shadowkeep's Armor 2.0 system is about bringing stats back to Destiny 2. Players can build a fashionable, efficient Guardian in Destiny 2 Shadowkeep. First, they asked Mark and Luke about the return of the class customizations from the original Destiny. A lot of us want that. Luke said, we talked a lot about the subclass trees. We certainly heard feedback throughout Destiny 2's lifecycle about those things. Honestly, we're not doing anything this fall. Instead, the team at Bungie decided to focus on separating the gameplay and aesthetics of players' armor. Smith explained that players have ways to earn and find mods to socket into their favorite armor pieces. For players who really want to invest in their gear, they can upgrade those pieces. Armor 2.0 is going to have the energy system. You power up the armor to increase its capacity, which lets you equip more mods. Part of Armor 2.0 is more than just customizing the look and feel of your Guardian. Bungie will also double the amount of stats in Destiny 2 this fall. Instead of just mobility, resilience, and recovery, there will also be intellect, discipline, and strength returning from the first Destiny, and these stats are going to work the same as they did in Destiny 1, guys. So intellect will be about how fast you get your super back, discipline is all about your grenade energy, and strength is about your melee. They also mentioned that Smith said that the team is widening the range of mobility, recovery, and resilience, but said players will have to wait a little bit longer to learn exactly what that means. Now, stats and mods are the two core pillars of the Armor 2.0 system. Stats will incentivize players to pick up better and better versions of their favorite pieces of armor, while mods allow them to customize their playstyle. And Smith gave some examples. He goes, I like hand cannons, and so I might put 2 hand cannon reloader mods on my gloves that stack and work together. Players who want to improve their specific abilities, like increasing their reload speed on all hand cannons, will have that option with 2.0. In terms of how much more powerful players can expect Armor 2.0 to make them, Smith and Noseworthy said that's a conversation the team is still having internally. Now, a quote from Luke Smith here, "We're going to introduce new mods into the pool for you to chase. The team is still working out the details of how many new mods they will add and how powerful they will be. But the team wants players to feel like their power is growing as they evolve their armor. Players can expect to not only grow their power with Armor 2.0, but do it in style, using armor pieces that they like the look of." And remember, Bungie, they revealed to us that you could use Eververse armor pieces as kind of like ornaments. So looking at this image here, we see the helmet and we see an energy number there. We're going to have to power up that energy number, and from there, then we could socket different mods into it. Now remember, we're also going to get an artifact that's going to be a seasonal artifact that we will level up over time over that season. That will give us a whole bunch of perks and bonuses. And lastly, for the winner of the Astro A50s or A40 TR Pros with the Mixam Pro contest that I started last Thursday in this type of news video, that winner is Naydog101. So I will be DMing you over on Twitter. And guys, make sure you subscribe and follow me on Twitter because I do these Astro contests once a month. I am sponsored by Astro, and if you want a discount on any Astro products, click the link in the description. But yeah, I can do one giveaway a month for either some Astro A50s or A40s, and they just recently redesigned them. All right, guys, that's it. Leave me a good old hashtag made it to the end if you did make it to the end, and do me a favor, drop a like in this video only if you see fit. Follow me on Twitter at Mesa Sean. Check out my stream, usually and always on YouTube, and that's it. I am out of here like Vladimir.